Sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes may be a little bit better than regular potatoes, but only in a sense of a theoretical argument. So don't take me too serious over this next discussion. When I talk about root vegetables, whether they be Jerusalem artichokes, sweet potatoes, yams, or regular potatoes, I'm talking about foods, root vegetables, underground storage organs that are so similar that for you to say one is better than another is being more theoretical than practical. Sweet potatoes. I put together a lecture in the past. It's called The Optimal Diet. And what I did in this lecture is I eliminated various foods based upon some kind of distraction. Like, for example, wheat, barley, and rye, they have gluten. So that left as far as an ideal diet is concerned. Beans were too high in protein. I ended up eliminating food by food by food, starch by starch by starch, starting with the typical American diet. Or actually, I started with the horrible diets, which would be the low protein diets like the Atkins diet, or how about the Krispy Kreme donut diet? I started with absolutely terrible diets, and of course, we all agreed that they weren't to be included in a discussion on optimal diets. And then I went on to a discussion of diets that have only a few compromises, like the McDougall diet, or the Pritikin diet, or the Ornish diet, or macrobiotics, or the Kempner diet. And these are diets that I wouldn't fault anybody for going on. They'll result in excellent health, all of these kinds of diets. In between the Western diet, the Atkins diet, and the Western diet, and the McDougall diet, you find what we call a reasonable diet. And this includes the Swank multiple sclerosis diet, a prudent diet, a flexitarian diet. And I want you to remember that word flexitarian because we're going to talk about that in a little bit, and the well-balanced American diet. What would be the ideal diet? Say you tried to get better than the Pritikin diet or the Ornish diet or the macrobiotic diet or even the McDougall diet. What would you do? Well, that turned out to be a diet of sweet potatoes and cooked green and yellow vegetables. Let's talk about some of the peculiarities of potatoes, some of the things that I know you have questions about, and I hope I've got most of them answered for you. Your concerns are things like you've already brought it up. You brought it up this morning about spoiled potatoes and nightshades and whether or not potatoes are fattening. You've even brought up the subject of acrylamides, which has been used to scare lots of people away from eating potatoes. We'll get to that. Potatoes are fattening, and you know why they're fattening. You know exactly why they're fattening. They're fattening because of the bacon, the butter, the sour cream, and the other types of high-fat foods that we put over the top of them. If you look at a white potato stuffed with bacon and cheese, it's 174 calories that meal is, whereas a plain potato is like 87 calories. So potatoes are not fattening. The stuff you put on the potatoes is fattening. Some of you think that the potato tastes better with these things. I will challenge you with the fact that what you're tasting, what you're enjoying, what you're trying to add to the food is the flavors from salt and sugar. Yeah, salt and sugar. You might as well take the salt shaker and put it over the top of the potato because that's what you're looking for when you add the cheese or the bacon. It's the salt. The American diet is a high salt diet because of incidental salt intake. It's because of the company that salt keeps on the American diet because it keeps company of bacon and ham and cheese and other kinds of lunch meats. The culprit is the animal foods, not the salt, but because they run around in packages together and over 75% of the salt that we eat is in the form of packaged foods or prepared foods. So what you're looking for in terms of extra flavor when you make that baked potato, you say it's so plain, is you're just adding salt. You might as well add salt in other forms, such as Dr. McDougall's Right Food Soup. We have a little bit of salt in there. Or maybe some of your salad dressings will have a little bit of salt or simple sugars in them. Get the flavor in a much safer, healthier way by adding low-fat, non-fat condiments to your potatoes, not these greasy, high-fat, high-calorie, fattening, heart disease-causing, breast cancer-causing additives that ruin the reputation of potatoes. How about the skins? People say that when you throw away the skins, you're throwing away all the nutrition in the potato. Not true. Potato skins, they have more fiber, that's for sure. 5 grams as opposed to 2 grams. They have plenty of vitamins and minerals, but so does the white matter, so does the flesh of the potato. As far as the calorie content goes, yes, skins have less calories. Good grief, they're just, a bunch of fiber. And they taste like it too, right? Although I do enjoy eating the potato skins, particularly with sweet potatoes. And the potato flesh is a little bit higher in calories because that's a more concentrated part of the potato. But both are loaded with carbohydrates, loaded with protein. You're not going to gain a particular advantage by eating potato skins. And it's going to be a lot rougher meal for you. I would ask you to put skins back on the potato where they belong. They're just part of the potato. They're nothing special when the skin is lost, and there's nothing special if you end up eating a potato skin for your breakfast, lunch, or dinner.